Okay, this video primarily is about the storyboard. Now, normally I would draw the storyboard down, but I want to talk about the idea that I've got for the mini-campaign, at least the basics. And this is primarily for Strongling Bones. This is also primarily for those currently involved in Liber Fanatica to comment on as well. And also as well, it gives some of the people who aren't involved in the Inner Sanctum, who are very experienced people, an opportunity as well maybe to throw a couple of suggestions that we can utilise. But I don't want those people sitting on the sidelines throwing comments in. Guys, if you want to put some comments in, join Liber Fanatica and show the moderators here what you're all about. Send in what you're going to be working on. Talk to us about any ideas that you've got, and let's get you involved in this publication, because there's an opportunity out there for you all. So anyway, here's my idea, here's my pitch. So, normal traditional role-playing games work generally in two ways when you're bringing a group together. The first one is you bring maybe not a contrived, but you bring a reason to have the players together. It could be a shipwreck, it could be the fact that they've all been taken prisoner, it could be that there's an inheritance, whatever it is, everybody's brought together. And quite rightly, I mean, a good game, you need to have a common reason to bring the players together to start with, and that is the easiest way for an inexperienced DM or an experienced DM to bring his group together and have logical reasons for them adventure it together, particularly when you consider the wide and wonderful variety of career paths that players potentially have in Warhammer. You know, why would a rat catcher work with a nobleman? It's unusual, and you have to find a way to make that gel. I understand that. The other way you can do it is very free-forming, so you don't have a specific direction. You slowly bring the players together depending on what they do. But that takes two things. It takes a good group, it takes an experienced DM, and it takes a little bit of skill and sometimes a little bit of luck to draw everybody together under the thread that you're trying to run. So I thought about this ages ago, and I thought what would be a wonderful way to run a game. It's slightly different, actually, as a game. And this needs debating, and this probably needs a little bit of tweaking, but this is the idea I have. You start off with the premise that a character, or maybe two characters, maybe they're associated, so it's not too difficult. Maybe they're brothers, maybe they're good friends, or they live in the same village, whatever it is, two people well known. More like, I would prefer it if they were two brothers, two sisters, brother and sister, whatever, two family members, going about their everyday business. They basically, for whatever reason, wherever we decide to base it to start with, depending on the careers, you could have a few options to start, but you want something fairly dramatic. And I thought one of the best scenes is, like, you know, you have a village, it has a couple of bridges that lead into the village, and they're just travelling back from doing their jobs, whatever it is they do, travelling back together, having met on the road or whatever. They get right near the village and they're on the bridge, crossing over the bridge, and it'll be one of these sort of old-fashioned stone bridge, no sides to it, old-fashioned stone bridge. They're crossing over, coming towards them from the village side, you know, look, a group of men leading their horses, and the next second they're attacked. And this isn't just attacked, they're looking to be killed, they're looking to be wiped out, looking to be ripped apart. And obviously they have to fight for their life, or fight for his or her life, to survive. Now obviously, I don't want to contrive it, but you want to put opportunities in there potentially for the player to either A, beat the odds, so maybe he's, you know, against two or three people, beat the odds, and then realise that actually this person was armed with information about them. So it knew about their movements, it had where they were from, they were literally marked for death, but it wasn't clear who it's from. There might be clues in that. And then there's also information about other people that have also been marked for death, and one of them happens to be quite close by another village. And so begins the story, because anybody who that would happen to would obviously realise that if they've got family there, their family, you know, potentially they've been marked for death, not their family. So you want, again, it needs some work, but what you want is a situation where that person hopefully realises that they've got an opportunity to race against time for them to get to this other village and save that person from what might be about to happen to them. They don't know why these people are being attacked, but they've got some information, and that begins the story. And maybe they've got enough information for 2 or 3 or 4 characters, but if you can try and lump 2 or 3 characters together quite quickly, it makes the beginning much more fluid. So that's my sort of pitch, where that's the beginning. So they've been targeted for a particular reason. Our target, obviously, is the criminal empire. A part of the criminal empire. Now, the way the criminal empire should work is it's a pyramid. You have the base level, which only a few people from the base level know the people above. Only a few people above that know the few people above that, and so on to you get right near the top, and only a handful of people know who the top person is. And that's how a criminal empire would work. They might have heard of the big boss. They've probably never seen him or her and don't know what they look like. And again, that's deliberate. So you get a feel for what I'm trying to do. It's to really... The reason I've chosen this angle is because it's very dramatic, because, you know, you're being marked for death straight away. There's no argument. You're being targeted to be killed off. No interest in keeping you alive. Target must be eliminated. Not clear why. Now, naturally, the attackers are part of the criminal empire, quite a high part up, or potentially a high part up in the criminal empire. It might be the Assassin's Guild, because again, all guilds will need a part. But why would these people be targeted? That's still to be decided. Now, I want to leave that open. I have my own ideas around it, but I have to leave certain parts open. So my idea is that you've got the group, you bring the group together for a vested reason to save themselves, because that's eventually what they're going to do, and they have a reason to go off after this criminal empire, maybe even infiltrate it, maybe find out about it. And I don't want to talk too much about that, and that's the idea that I have. Now, primarily I'm throwing this out to Strolling Bones, because I'm saying to you, mate, I'm going to storyboard that for you in a separate video, probably going to come in the next 2 days, show you my thoughts on it initially, bounce some ideas back and forth. Obviously I'm running on UK time. I want the other people who are involved in Liber Fanatica to give their thoughts and feelings about what we're trying to do and the direction that we're trying to go in, and if we can collaborate 1 or 2 people to work on it collectively, because there's some wonderful people out there developing characters and various ideas, and try and pull into this some of those character ideas, more the better. But you get the idea, okay? Now, if this is not quite what you want to do, Strolling Bones, you've got a better idea or a slightly different angle, I'm willing to support you. But I thought I'd throw in something that I thought was very different, very unique, and something that could really, really work in a very dramatic and unique way. Anyway, that's about the mini-campaign idea. I haven't got a title for it yet, Strolling Bones. I'm leaving that to you. I have got some ideas for the title, but I'm leaving that up in the air at the moment. But we'll talk about that later. Again, other people can throw in their thoughts and feelings about it. Anyway, guys, till the next video, take care of yourselves. See you then.